Hello again guys, my name is Chris Priestman from hookedgamers.com. Today I have another video review for you for the new arcade title on Xbox Live, Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is a frantic retro-style platformer in which you slap your meaty body around over 300 unique levels filled with spinning blades, lava and destructive machinery, all in order to rescue your lover Bandage Girl who has been kidnapped by the evil Dr. Fetus. Essentially taking the genre back to its basics, Super Meat Boy is comparable to classic games such as Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Bros. Rather than pixels, the game uses a simple line and block style. This works well for the game as it makes things very clear. When you are flying across the screen, it is a great help that the fast approaching hazards can be spotted within half a second. The game is level based with 20 per chapter and 5 chapters making up the main story of the game. The idea is to traverse the levels to reach Meat Boy's lover, Bandage Girl, who has been kidnapped by the evil Dr. Fetus. If you have played a Mario game, then you could have already guessed this formula. As he is essentially a cube of raw meat, Meat Boy is very vulnerable to the external threats around him. Saying this, I'm quite sure a buzzsaw would do some nasty things to me as well. The levels are usually quite short but difficult, and completing them will require you to memorise each section. Then it's just a case of perfecting the right manoeuvres to reach the end. Easier said than done. Luck plays a part too at times of course, as well as patience and determination. Meat Boy's main ally is his agility. The controls consist of movement on the left stick, jump is on the A button and the right trigger acts as a sprint button. Mastering these basic functions is essential to progress through the game. Holding in the A button produces a higher and further jump, and the sprint button can accelerate and decelerate Meat Boy in the air, which is likely where you'll be spending most of your time. Luckily Meat Boy is very manoeuvrable whilst in the air, but this does not make getting across some of the hazards any easier. Each chapter is set within a unique location, and the variation between levels is done well enough that you don't feel like you are repeating yourself over and over again. The game tests your skill in different ways, and every new hazard and enemy that is introduced throughout the game provides fresh challenges. What really makes the game work is the genius of the level design and how different mechanics are combined. This is inevitably what will keep you coming back to the game. As this is a platformer, the amount of control you have of the character is one of the most important factors for the developers to get right. Although it seems a little shaky at first, when you have got used to Meat Boy's movement you will find that it is one of the most precise and responsive platformers ever made. I'm not kidding here, the controls are really tight and you feel as if you have complete control over Meat Boy. I haven't found a single flaw as of yet. If you are killed, you will only have yourself to blame. This is what differentiates the game from those classic titles. It is retro through and through, but this is purely style and form. The mechanics of the game are up to modern standards and makes the game much more enjoyable. Like those older titles, the game is fairly difficult and will force you to replay levels over and over again to master them. It is a lot kinder than its influences though. The levels are fairly short and well designed, and fortunately respawning is very quick, sometimes too quick. On completion of each level, you are shown a replay which combines all of your attempts on the level together. It's quite a hilarious sight as you can see. These replays can be saved for the sake of humour, but it can also act as a reminder as to how you completed certain levels. As with any decent platformer, there are boss levels at the end of each chapter. These vary in difficulty from fairly easy to very hard, but each one is very fun and adds another character to the game. My favourite being Brownie, the very fast turd you have to race against. That's something to cross off the list of things to do before you die, I guess. On each level there is a par time to beat. Once done you will receive an A+ for the level. This also unlocks an alternative version of the level within the Dark World. The Dark World is basically a much harder version of each level, so in fact there are actually 40 levels per chapter. Across these are 20 band-aids to find and collect which go towards unlocking extra characters. You can also unlock extra characters by finding the hidden warp zones within some levels. These will often whisk you away to an 8-bit world, which requires you to traverse 3 short levels to complete it. Other times you will play as a different character, and by completing the worlds you unlock the character to play in the main game. Altogether there are 15 unlockable characters from other indie games, and each comes with their own special ability to vary up the gameplay. Whereas Meat Boy's ability is to sprint, being made of tar, Gish can stick to walls, and Commander Video from Bit Trip can hover for a short while. Yay, rainbows! Outside of the main story, there are further levels to unlock as well as a chapter revealed on completion of the game called The Internet, or however you say that in lead speak. This is my favourite feature of the game as it enables the developers to release map packs for free. The first available one is called Butcher Boy and contains 20 8-bit levels that use the game's mechanics in different ways. There are currently 4 more to follow which will be available to download within the first few months of the game's release. For what you are paying for Super Meat Boy, it is fair to say that you are getting a lot of content. The game will take hours, in fact days, to complete fully. Your time for each level is also uploaded to the global leaderboard, so if you are of the competitive spirit, you can really get into that as well. I recommend this game to everyone, especially to those players who are fans of retro platformers, but also to new players of the genre. This could well be the Mario of this generation. It is precise, a lot of fun, and one of the best arcade titles released this year. It is also one of the best platformer games I have come across, and I am an avid fan of the genre. If you are not convinced you will like this game, at least try the trial of the game, or even play the original Meat Boy on the PC. It's free after all. The pros of the game are that it is great value for money. It is easy to pick up and play for any amount of time, and it is possibly one of the best platformers ever made. The only con I can draw is that some players may find it too challenging at times, and with a lack of patience may dismiss the game altogether. This, however, is a core part of the genre, and if made too easy the game would not be of the same quality. It proves once again that indie developers are dedicated to consumers and are able to produce simple games that are of a better quality than those more expensive titles. Old school is not dead, it was simply forgotten. Super Meat Boy brings it back once again and stands as one of the best examples of a retro game that implements all the comforts of modern gaming. Overall, it is absolutely superb and definitely worth your playing time and money. My full review and rating for the game can be read at hookedgamers.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Please visit our website at hookedgamers.com where you can find the latest news and articles on games across all platforms. Also check out our weekly podcast for an entertaining show that will keep you informed on all things gaming. Furthermore, make sure to search for us on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. You can even chat to other gamers on our forums, just click the link at the top of the homepage. Hooked Gamers, because gaming is a lifestyle.